Yo, what is going on, guys? This is Professor Loki, and in this video I'm going to be showing you and demonstrating you the new build for Loki. Yes, finally, after long time, I'm finally going to upload a video of what to build on Loki for Season 4. So, before we get this started, let me talk about why this video has not been uploaded. And the main reason is because the item Heartseeker and the starter item called Rand Mask, it's called Rand, I don't even know how to pronounce that. I call it Rand Mask. Those two items in particular were bugged, and meaning that Heartseeker, for instance, and this confirmed my suspicion, when I was playing a few games after Season 4 came out, Loki's 1 and 3 did not proc Heartseeker, and that got me so upset. And so, I posted some forums saying that, hey, Heartseeker isn't proccing 1-3. People said that it's not supposed to proc on, buff, like, abilities that are buff and or self-buff that which also deals damage, like Arachne's 1, for instance. But that doesn't make sense in the description at all. So I was right. It was a bug. It was not intentional, and now they fixed it. So Heartseeker is now a viable item for Loki. In fact, it's a core item for Loki. And now about Rand Mask. What happened to Rand Mask is, and I'm not sure a lot of people know this. I posted in the Reddit forum telling people like the issue with this, and basically after you get either 6 stacks or 16, and if you die, you'll lose the passive, not the stacks, but you'll lose the passive. So there was absolutely no reason to buy Rand Mask unless you're willing to risk and not die once in the game, but that's very unlikely. So, but now those two were fixed in this 4.2 patch with the new Kuzenbo, I think that's his name, the god of Kappa or whatever. So my clan told me about that, and I was really happy. So now let's get right to it. This is only for Conquest. You can use this build similarly to other game modes, just different starter items. You guys can use some common sense to figure out what starter items you should get, and so. So for Conquest, there are four specific roles that Loki can play in. It is ADC, mid, solo, and jungle. In Season 3, I talked about how Loki Jungle is the worst role, and now I think it's probably the second best. You can still do Loki ADC or Loki Solo, but I'm going to try to main Loki Jungle because of these two specific items helping me out in the jungle. For Loki, Loki mid is not good because it's probably the best position for Loki, but it's not good for your team. Loki solo is not good for your team. Loki ADC is difficult, especially with the Apollo buff. So he's now ST, you can clear the wave instantly. So any Loki ADC mains out there, you're going to struggle in casuals because Apollo's going to be picked up, and so is Izanami and so forth, especially with these items that reduces your power damage output by 20%. That is insane. That's a lot for Loki, so you better not get touched. So for Loki Jungle, what you want to do is you want to get Boombas and then Rand Mask. These are the 2-star items that you would get. Before, when Rand Mask was bugged, I usually got Bluestone, but now Rand Mask is available and it works perfectly fine. So now you want to get these 2 items, and for a relic, you can get a choice of Purification Beads or Sunder. And when I do get Sunder, I don't buy boots at all. I don't buy this tier 1 garbage 6% movement speed. I buy Sunder and I upgrade it right off the bat. So I'll have a fully upgraded Sunder with these 2 items at the very beginning. No pots, because I don't need pots, because if you kill the jungles, you will get a lot of health from Boomba's Mask, and plus it also gives you 50 health and 50 mana from the start. It's pretty good. You don't need really pots unless you're trying to do early invades or something like that, which is different, and you should not do that as Loki. People say you should should I get Hog on Loki still? I'm not 100% sure. I would say yes to counter against early invades, but here's the thing though. Hog is only good for that. So if you buy an active for only the early game, then it's completely useless late game. Yes, it provides the stun, but it doesn't provide the secure. It doesn't. I'm pretty sure it no longer kills the I don't know. I need to read into more of the Hand of the Gods. But what I'm saying is, like, it's not really as useful as compared to Beads, Sunder, or Bracer of Undoing. Bracer of Undoing. So I usually go with Sunder first active. If they have like a CC, like a Nox, whatever, Kumba, I get Beads, of course. And I do not fully upgrade the Beads. I just get Beads, 2 pots, two mana pots. Um, and Boots. So the first item, once you come back, is you want to get Warrior Tabi. You could get Heartseeker instead, but that's not, like, assuming you have 6 stacks with Ran, so 3 kills or whatever assists. You will get 7% movement speed, 7 plus 17 or 7 plus 10. That's 17. That's 1% less than Warrior Tabi, which is fine. But if you're not ahead, then you just want to get Boots. Boots is always the safest start, guys. And then the second item you want to build is Heartseeker. This will give you movement speed, which is good. I'll talk about that stuff in a bit. You'll get 10 physical penetration. You guys already get the gist of what Heartseeker does. After that, you want to get Hydras. Now, the reason why you don't get Yon's Wrath is because Hydras ultimately still deals more damage than Yon's Wrath, assuming you auto-cancel, and cooldown with this plus this is equivalent to Yon's Wrath, and it's also cheaper. So then the next item you want to get is Yon's Wrath, and then after that you want to sell Boombas, and then now I don't have it here, but you want to get Titan's Bane last item. Now, and that's it. So now you might be thinking to yourself, what about Renmask? Do I sell it? No, you do not sell this item. Why? Because this item is like, people say it's really bad, but it's only for those gods who can't kill. If you're playing like a god as like Thanatos or Ratatosk or someone who can actually get a lot of kills early on, then you want to pick up this item. If you're a character who cannot kill, like Bakasura, or someone who just can't burst someone down and stuff like that, then you might not want to get this because this is a high risk, high reward sort of. But for Loki, you'll always get kills, so it's going to stack pretty fairly fast. It's going to stack fast. So with this max stacked, it's going to give you 10% cooldown. Oh, sorry. It provides you 15 flat pen, 10% movement speed, and 15% cooldown reduction, all from this one item. It literally gives you everything besides power. Now, power. When it comes to power, excuse me. When it comes to power, you can literally just get a power pot, or you can get a red buff, and it just perfectly series. Right now, I'll have 175, assuming I drink this, but I'm not level 10. I will have around 205 or whatever. So yeah, I will have exactly 205 power, which is more than enough. 200 power, perfect, fine. I don't need 300. I don't need 400. You don't need pure damage. Yes, if you can literally just build pure pen and just screw Heartseeker, screw Randmask, screw that, all that stuff. Just go pure that, but then you're just literally all damage and nothing else. How are you gonna escape? How are you gonna, when you play Loki, you got to be a really good jukester. If you guys don't know what juking means, it's basically like trying to avoid shots, trying to predict that like, for example, you go straight, someone shoots straight at you, but you make a 90 degrees turn and they miss, and you just keep like zigzagging around and try to avoid their shots for your cooldowns to come up. That's juking. So Loki is a complete jukester, so he needs his juking boots on. Now, in order to help him with juking, the best way to juke is to go faster. To counter juking, you make people slower, and you also precise your shots. But for this, you'll get a total of 38% movement speed. So that is Warrior Tabi plus Heartseeker plus Randmask. You'll get a total of 38% movement speed. Now that, and also note that you are a jungler. Assuming you are a jungler, you'll also get the movement speed buff. So yay! So I'm pretty sure with Randmask, Heartseeker, boots, and speed buff, you'll have a total of 550 base movement speed. That's right. Just by walking, you will have 550 movement speed. That is insane. Now, if you stealth in that, you will have more than 600 movement speed. Now, without the speed buff, you will have 505 movement speed. And with stealth, you'll have 575, I think. So that should tell you guys that it is this build, this entire build is about utility with damage. Decent and good damage. Not like, oh, look at me, I'm dealing 1 billion damage per hit. No. You will deal 500 million, and you will have a lot of utility. You will have full cooldown reduction. Okay, well, I'm not fully stacked yet, but you will have full cooldown reduction. You'll have 45 out of 40, so you will overcap by 5, but doesn't matter, 5%, whatever. You'll have 40 out of 40 with this fully stacked in this entire build. and you will have 35 flat pen. Again, this is not stacked, so you will have 35 out of 50 with 33% of time spin, which is really beautiful, which is great, and then you'll have around 200 power, which is also beautiful and great. For your second relic, guys, once you reach level 12, if then you just do the same thing as first relic. You can get Sunder, you can get Beads, or Bracer of Undoing. Typically, I hate these two actives. I never buy Aegis on Loki, but I might have to because of just it's difficult to. It's just difficult. It's like Aegis is like such a requirement, and that's why it's bad. It needs to be fixed. But Beads is always a requirement because CC in the game, that's just normal. But you can avoid damage, but you can't really avoid CC most of the time. So Sunder and Beads, usually I get either Beads and Sunder or Sunder and Bracer of Undoing. I usually never get Beads and Bracer of Undoing because that's two defensive actives. You don't want two defensive actives. You either want one offensive and one defense, or if you want to go crazy, you can have two offensive. But I would not do that. So usually this is my offense, this is my defense, or this is my offense and this is my defense. One of those two. Well, it's three or whatever. So that's for the relics for Loki. That's what I do. For relic systems, all up to you. You can go blink. Don't get teleport. Don't get just get the actives I just told you. There's really like you can get sprint, sure, if you want to support your team, whatever. So this is the build. Again, you do not sell Randmass. You keep that there. Just leave it there, and you're gonna be fine. Trust me, guys. Early game, it's going to suck, but mid to late, that's when you can be rolling in the kills. You're just going to be killing everyone. You'll be hurting like there's no tomorrow. Also, let me see if this works. If you guys have not seen my little trick with Heartseeker, I'm pretty sure you do not need 5 stacks. It says here in Heartseeker you need 5 stacks in order to do this, but since this is a self-buff damaging ability, I don't need to get 5 stacks. So watch this. Oh, okay, they fixed it. Okay, never mind. They fixed it. So now you do need 5 stacks. Alright, good to know. Before, what would happen is, because my autos apply first and then my ability damage, it added an additional stack, and then once my aim strike applied to the target, the orange numbers, then it also applied the Heartseeker stack, a passive. But now you actually have to get 5 stacks. So that is interesting. That is fine. Okay, I debunked that. Oh, well, that's fine. And also, I'm pretty sure the bleed trick where you can bleed someone, apply Heartseeker, I don't know, a few more times, and apply Heartseeker again. So you can basically you can apply Heartseeker twice on one person, basically, which is kind of OP, but whatever. So they fixed that as well, which is fine. Heartseeker's still beautiful. Always get this item. Don't say no to it. It's great. For Clash or for any other game mode, just remove the Boom Buzz and just get Randmask. It's same build for everything, really. Just be common sense. Like, you don't get Boom Buzz in Clash. You don't get Boom Buzz in Joust. Like, it's just common sense. So, and for the consumables, this is actually very important. Again, you want to get Potion of Physical Might all the time. Don't get Elixir of Power and don't get Elixir of Defense. These items are very expensive, and if you die, you'll feel stupid. I only would get these in the special game modes, Match of the Days or whatever. Hold on, let me get out of this chat, because honestly I hate that little bing noise or whatever. So you want to get Potion of Physical Might, and then you also want to get this OP ritual. Honestly, I think this ritual, people have been complaining about this ritual, but I think it's perfectly fine. I just think that it's too cheap. It should be 1,000 gold for something that's like a combat blink. But you want to get this and these. You want to get these two. So this is basically your escape, and then this is meant for your initiation or killing or whatever. So that's going to be about it, guys. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, please post it down below. And as always, I'll see you all Loki and non-Loki players next time.